everybody, I'm TC and welcome to my dungeon. Please enter your own free will. This is a brand new vlog from me. I'm excited about doing this. I would like to invite you into my home and into my dungeon, and I'd like to share some pieces with you, some newer stuff and some classic stuff that I've been collecting through the years. I know there's a lot of big time collectors out there that are very impressive on YouTube, and they're very inspiring. So I'm not quite sure of what I'm doing 100% with the editing and all that kind of stuff. I still have to learn that, so please be patient with me. But I'd love to take you guys with me when I go to certain horror shows and conventions and do some cool unboxings and stuff. And if this works out, I'd like to feature maybe a different monster every week and talk about some fun facts about the toy and about the movie. The figurine rather, and hope you guys like it. If you do, please subscribe and let me know if you have any any constructive criticism for me. I'd really appreciate it. But this week, my very first vlog, I'd love to start with my favorite all-time monster, and that is the Frankenstein monster. Now notice I said Frankenstein monster. Anytime we see a character like this or this type of creature, we affectionately call him Frankenstein. But technically, Frankenstein was the doctor, the guy who made him. So it all started with Mary Shelley's novel in 1818 of Frankenstein. And then in 1931, Universal Studios made the movie. A couple of different, some differences as far as the characters are concerned, for those of you who are familiar with the novel and the movie. Whereas Mary Shelley, the Dr. Frankenstein, his first name was Victor, and his little sidekick Igor, everybody remembers that, where in 1931, the movie, Dr. Frankenstein was Henry Frankenstein, and his sidekick was Fritz. Couple of fun facts there. Most of you probably know that, but if not, it's again, it's a fun fact. This is a really cool piece by Sideshow. Sideshow makes a whole bunch of really fun stuff. I got this a while back. I can't remember exactly the year that I got this piece, but there's this version of this piece has the green Frankenstein monster in it, and the reason I say green is we'll talk about that later on. But it's a very cool box. It opens up like a door. Like this is supposed to be like the Frankenstein laboratory door when the monster first walks in, and it's got everybody's name on it, and it's got some cool pieces in here. The monster has the chains in here, the little daisy flowers that he threw into the water, and of course the abnormal brain, where Fritz, when he was supposed to steal the good brain for the doctor, he dropped it and broke it and frantically grabbed on the second brain, which happened to be the abnormal brain. Love to keep everything in a box. I do my best to keep things in a box, and we will talk about that later on also. So I know we're talking about and featuring the Frankenstein monster this week, but this I have to show you this piece, and there's a couple of more characters in there, even though, again, like I said, we're talking about the Frankenstein monster this week. But this is a really cool piece. It's called the Monster Legacy DVD set, and it's got the busts of the monsters here. That's Frankenstein, Dracula, and the Wolfman. Very cool set here, and it comes with the DVDs, the movies of each character. So right here, like on the side, you'll see that here's the Bela Lugosi Dracula one, and in the back is the Lon Chaney the Wolfman. Lon Chaney Jr., son of the great Lon Chaney Sr., obviously, the guy who started all the makeup and special effects, a genius. Even took household things like cereal and oatmeal, and he applied that to his face to get all kinds of effects, and yeah, that's how it all started. Genius, one of my heroes. And of course on this side is the Boris Karloff, the Frankenstein DVD. It's a really great set, and again, I've never opened it because obviously you can see these movies, on TV, or you could get the DVDs somewhere else. So I'd rather keep the box intact, just like that, for display purposes. Great. Living Dead dolls. What a great company. What a great collectible. This is, like as I said, Living Dead doll. The creators are Ed Long and Damien Glonek. I hope I said that last name right. Two geniuses that put the Living Dead doll series together a while ago. This is their version of the Frankenstein doll. Beautiful packaging. It's Frankenstein and the Bride. That we'll get into another time. I'll show you that another time. But again, remember the coloration that I was talking about? They had the green, and here's the white. You know, that ashen gray version, which to me I like better, and then a lot of times it's more collectible. Not necessarily. It all depends on what the model or the figurine is. And these guys, I go to a show in New Jersey, one of those horror fest type shows. I believe this one was called Chiller Theater, and the guys are there, Ed and Damien, most of the time, 90% of the time. And when I go there and I buy a piece every time I go there, one of their pieces, and if the boys are there, they will sign the packaging for you. Both of them signed this one. Really cool guys, really nice guys. You take pictures with them and stuff like that, but a really fantastic piece. And they're very knowledgeable, so you could also ask them about, you know, the coloration and stuff like that. Very knowledgeable guys. Again, really cool piece. Hey, resin models. This is a whole different kind of model. Resin models, a little bit more difficult to work with. I read about them, and I was interested. I figured, let me give it a shot. They can be a little bit more expensive also, but this guy is really cool. And what I mean by the difference in the resin models is that you got to work a little harder to put these guys together. They just don't come out of the box and you put, you know, A and B and C together. This guy you have to kind of work at to make the joints fit. And what I mean by that is, like, for instance, the arm joint that goes to the elbow, you have to actually shrink the resin down, whether by putting it in hot water. That's the way I did it. I read many different ways of doing it. But you have to shrink the pieces so the joints could fit together, and then you can either glue them in place, or you can make them where he, you know, his like in this situation here, his shoulder moves a little bit. I didn't glue him in place, but I did glue his hands in this type of gesture. Now I'm gonna show you guys something. I know this is funny to do, but my wife knocks this thing over and knocks his head off anyway. So here we go. This is what I mean. This piece here, okay, I had to put this head in hot water to get him to fit here. So you got to work a little harder, and I didn't glue his head down because I like the way I can move his head from different expressions. Although, like I said, my wife comes down here because I wash and dry her down here also, and she knocks him over, and this is the way I find him every once in a while. But resin, very cool. Also, fun fact and something that's interesting. When you see the Frankenstein monster models or character on display, most of the time everybody identifies him with being green. Now, the great Jack Pierce, the guy who did the makeup for Boris Karloff, did do the makeup in green. But in 1931, everything was black and white still, so he didn't come across the screen as green until the colored versions later on. So there are characters. You will see the figurines in two different types of colors. You will see him in green, and you will also see him in the white, or that more ashen gray color. One is actually more collectible than the other, and it depends on what the model is or what the figurine is. But I personally prefer the black, the ashen gray, whitish face. This particular one, I painted more of a dead skin color. And if you read up on like the Mary Shelley stuff, she talks about the character, or they talk about the character as being, it was a person that was dead. So there's no blood or anything left to make his cheeks nice and rosy or anything. It's more of a pale, dead skin look. So that's how I chose to color this particular guy, or paint this particular guy, and that's why he's that color. I love numbered pieces. A lot of people love numbered pieces, but this limited edition numbered pieces is what I should say. This is limited edition, 1,200 pieces made. I was walking through a store one day and I saw this guy here. It said Frankenstein on it. Japanese anime type writing on it. When I see stuff like that, my ears go up and I quickly run over to it. And I happen to be lucky because it's like there's only one more left. So they obviously went like hotcakes. But when I see the name Frankenstein and I see this kind of writing, I say, well, how can they get away with, how do you call that Frankenstein? So I quickly flip the box over and I'll show you why. That's why. It's a universal licensed piece. And that's exactly why they call it Frankenstein. And he's really cool. Even though it's a different type of likeness, I really like the figurines with the likeness of the character itself. You know, like a Boris Karloff or whatever that character, whatever that person made that, you know, whoever was wearing the Frankenstein makeup at the time. And we should talk about that. There was 3 or 4 people who did that. The most famous one that everybody identifies with is Boris Karloff. But then there was also Glenn Strange. Glenn Strange is the one that it wore the makeup during the Abbott and Costello. You guys would remember that. And he's the one that kind of did this when he was walking. So that Frankenstein monster that did that type of thing. Then there was Lon Chaney Jr. actually had to get into the makeup for a couple of shoots, and Bela Lugosi. And the fun fact about Bela Lugosi is that he was originally the one that was offered the part of the Frankenstein monster, and he turned it down. And why? Because it was a non-speaking part. Big mistake, Bela. But anyway, love Bela, love the character that he became, and I'm sure it kind of stuck in his throat a little bit, and as the story's told. But again, a wonderful actor and memorable character. Okay, guys, so this is a really cool piece. This is from a company called Jack's Pacific. Try to say that 3 times fast. I don't remember for sure because it's hard for me to read the bottom of this. It comes with this cool backdrop, which I'm going to take off to show you better. If you guys remember in the movie where the Burgermeister was sent to corral the monster, and the whole mob went out there with the shovels and the pitchforks and the sticks and stuff to bring him back. When they did finally catch him, they brought him back and they put him in the basement in a chair just like this, and they attached him with his chains and stuff like that, which they thought they had the battle won, and there he would be. And come on, we're talking about the king of the monsters here, the Frankenstein monster. Exactly what he did. He was in that chair for very long, and out he went, terrorizing and doing what I shouldn't even say terrorizing. Actually, it wasn't really that bad of a monster, but if you were chased around with pitchforks and shovels and bats too, you'd be upset too. One thing I do want to mention, kids out there, I'm sure most of you know this, or collectors especially, but try to keep your boxes. Everything is so much more collectible with the boxes. Not that your pieces cannot be worth, whatever they're worth without the boxes, but it definitely makes it more valuable with the box, and for collectors especially, they want to see that box. With that said, I don't know what I did with this box. So there. And that's the whole reason why I'm telling you. That's why I can't remember exactly where this piece was made. It's very hard to read the bottom, but it's a really cool piece, and try to keep those boxes, guys. Sideshow again. Very nice model, Sideshow model. This was in the early 90s, I believe. Don't hate me if I get this wrong. But really nice piece, very solid. Really heavy figurine, arms, legs, bent at the knee, bent at the waist, turned at the waist, the hands here, the elbows, the head. Really nice, solid construction, really nice quality piece. And this is the son of Frankenstein, and the plaque here shows the character and the year of the movie. And he's a dead giveaway for all of you guys that know the movie because of this shirt right here, that fuzzy type vest that he was wearing. Dead giveaway for the Son of Frankenstein movie. Okay guys, so I had to take the camera off the tripod to show you these next collectibles, these figurines here. These guys here I got about 8 or 9 years ago. Again, I'm terrible with the date of when I actually bought them, but I was in New Jersey, and I went into one of the local stores that had all these collectibles, and I was able to buy all these figurines all in one shot. And what I mean by that is, and again, I know we're talking about the Frankenstein monster this week, but I can't help but show you this whole collection because you will understand why when I'm about to tell you. When you bought these figurines, and again, when I bought them 8 or 9 years ago, they were already a classic type figurine, a collectible type of figurine wasn't readily found just anywhere. But this particular figurine, this is a Series 1. This happens to be the Frankenstein monster one. With the collectible poster behind it, you can see right here, explicit terror and let's see, parental advisory. Each one of them comes with a backdrop, a poster type backdrop. And when you bought these figurines, every one of them came with a much larger piece of an arm or a leg or a torso or a head for a much larger figurine. And so by buying them all, once you got all these characters, then you were able to build a much bigger Frankenstein monster collectible. And here he is. Let me get my here he is right here. This is him. So if you bought the arm, the leg, the torso, all came in these packages here. So in order to build him, you had to buy all these guys here. And I was lucky enough just to find them and buy them all in one shot. And I'm using my flashlight, and I'm not picking this guy up to show you guys because I actually have him glued in place here because of space reasons. I'm kind of running out of space down here, so I have certain collectibles mounted permanently for different reasons and for space reasons. So this is a really nice set. 2 versions of the little big head figurines, Son of Frankenstein and the original Frankenstein. Really cool little guys. Hallmark, really cool little piece. Hangs on a tree if you want them, or you could just prop them up just like that. Universal licensed. Really cool little guy. Okay, so let's talk about a life cast really quick. Most of you know what one is, but in case you don't, here's what it is. If you are an actor or an actress and you're about to have a custom-made mask, doesn't have to be an actor or an actress, it could be anybody, and you go to a makeup artist and he's going to make a custom-made mask of you. What they do is they put this, we're going to say goop for now, it's different gelatins, plasters, depending on what they use nowadays, but they cover your head, they put a ball cap on you, and they cover you from head to neck, completely encased in this goop, and all they do is they leave your nostrils open so you can breathe. Once this material hardens on your head, then they will take it off of your head, and when they open it up, it's what's inside of that, and it's called a negative, is the perfect negative image of your face. And any little nook and cranny on your face, whether it be a pimple or a scratch, an eyelash that's sticking up, whatever it is, it's picked up on this negative. Then they go ahead and they pour the latex or whatever material they're going to pour in this negative. Once they peel it off, it's the perfect image of your face, or whoever's face the life cast was put on. And then the artist, whether it be a sculpting artist or a makeup artist, they will build upon that. Whether they're going to put horns on you or make your nose out of whack or whatever. So once they do that, then that fits your face. It's a custom made, perfect fit to your face, whatever that character is going to be. So with that said, this particular collectible right here is from a company called House of Masks. What a great company, amazing artist. The artist, and the artist name is right here. This is a numbered piece. This is number 22 out of 1,000. We'll take a life cast, and it explains it right here in the certificate of authenticity. And they take the life cast from the person, and then he sculpts on top of that. And it's a beautiful piece. It's a solid, more of a ceramic piece. It's got nice weight to it. It's hung. It's, you know, open in the back where you can hang it. And he did this right here for the Frankenstein, Boris Karloff Frankenstein monster. I highly recommend this piece. It's absolutely gorgeous. The likeness is really nice, and did a great job. So staying with the life cast, this is the life cast of Boris Karloff. Again, this is another numbered piece. Lots of these are made. This is from a company called the Haunted Studios Collection, but this is what I mean, and I'm sorry I can't get any closer because this is hanging up on the wall and I'm actually reaching for it. You might have a little shadow in the way there, but you'll see what I mean here. See, you can see every little nook and cranny of his face, his eyebrows, his indentations, his smile, his wrinkle on top of his, it catches every little part of your face. And this is the Boris Karloff life cast. Again, very solid piece, a ceramic type piece. You know, if you drop these, they break. It's not, you know, they're heavy and they're solid, but still, you know, you drop it and it will, you know, it will break. But really cool piece, great piece, good company. Okay, so camera off the tripod again to show you this character right here. The most important part about this character right here is this Universal Studios latex Boris Karloff mask. Love the likeness in this mask. It is an oversized mask. This is something that you would, you know, wear at Halloween time, but in this situation, he is part of this full-size mannequin here. And again, the likeness of this mask is really cool. I have it stuffed from the inside out, because when these masks come to you, you know, they're all folded in plastic bags and boxes and stuff like that. So there's a lot of wrinkles that you have to really, you know, kind of work out. So he's been up here for a while. He's starting to fill out, you know, and look really good. But I really like this mask. Factory Entertainment. I adore this piece. Again, it's put in place, so it's hard for me to reach back here. Love this box. Sometimes the boxes are, oh God, it's the most exciting part about the collectible. But this right here is the monochrome edition. Again, we were talking about the color of the characters. They also have this piece in green, but this one is the more limited edition. As you can see right here on his plaque, he's number 76 out of 100, and absolutely one of my favorite. I mean, look at that face. Talk about a face that only a mother could love. But I mean, look at that face. Look at the likeness, the Boris Karloff likeness. It's absolutely beautiful, beautiful. Now this guy, I don't have him plugged in. I apologize for that, but if you leave me a comment and you do want to see him in action, I will be more than happy to do that for you guys. Again, I have to figure out how to answer questions and stuff like that. I don't think it's probably not that hard, but in case you are interested, please leave me a comment and I will, in the next vlog, put it on and turn him on for you so you could see him. But I'll give you an idea of what he does. When you hit the kill switch here, it's two different positions. You put him up. Two things happen. His eyes start to glow and he starts to speak. And it's the Colin Clive as Dr. Frankenstein in 1931. Remember the popular, he's alive, or it's alive, sorry. That's what he says. That's how he speaks. And then if you throw the switch in the another position, this gauge right here will start to move back and forth and light up and do the, you know, the electricity discharge sound, you know, that zzz, you know, that type of thing. I can make that sound for you guys again too if you want. You know, like when the bolts are going, the electricity is going into the bolts in his neck, and it's a gorgeous piece, beautiful. Again, the monochrome edition, love it. That's it, guys. That's the end of my very first vlog. I hope you liked it. Please let me know if you did by subscribing or leave me comments. And if you guys have any suggestions on how I can do this better or any suggestions at all, please let me know. And with that being said, hopefully we'll see each other another time with some different characters and some different fun facts or some cool places to visit and or some cool unboxings. And with that being said, I am now going to exit stage right and fade out. Bye. I don't know how to fade out on the camera, so that's my fade out.